used to think that small talk is a natural part of life that everyone partakes in. It always felt so natural to me until I started seeing people complaining about it, saying how they hate small talk and how difficult it is, and how it is nothing but surface level chit chat. But then I realized something. I was actually always looking at my mum, who is amazing at small talk. She runs a small shop and has very loyal customers who've been there for 20, 30 years. And wherever she goes, whether that's grocery stores, or she goes on the market, everyone actually knows her and they recognize her, give her discounts, they talk to her about their own lives or whatever they've been doing. And it just seemed like a very natural part of life to me to be integrated in a community like that. She is someone who's able to build rapport with people in a matter of minutes, and it seems like everyone is happy after having talked to her. And this is what I saw ever since I was a kid, so I really just assumed that it was a normal part of life and everyone kind of does the same thing. But now I see that this is actually not the norm. Great communicators use small talk as more of a superpower, and it's not something that everybody does. Small talk is really not just talking for the sake of talking. It is a skill that opens a lot of doors, it builds relationships, it builds rapport and trust among people, and it is really something that you can use wisely in your everyday life as well. So if you've ever felt awkward in these conversations or struggled to come up with things to say, keep watching this video because I will share the top tips that my mom also uses to make people around her feel so amazing once she talks to them. Because most of the time, the problem isn't that you're bad at small talk. It's more that nobody really taught you how to do it. So these are the things that I observed my mom do that I'm going to pass on to you so you can also be great at small talk. So secret number 1. She focuses on the other person and not on herself. Most people go into conversations thinking about what I should say next. However, great communicators, especially in the realm of small talk, flip this around and think about how can I make the other person feel heard? So, for example, what my mom would say is not, oh, I had such a long day at work, or working here today seems very busy. She would say, oh, you look a bit tired. How's your day going? Was it a very long day for you? With this, she shifts the focus onto the other person where they can share their own experiences, and that way you will get more information about them and they will also feel more bonded to you. They also feel valued and heard, and that is what makes people want to talk to you more. It really is more about making the conversation about them and not about you. Similarly, you have to be able to do active listening. So ask more questions, be genuinely interested in the other person, and really actively listen to what they're saying. Give them a bit of feedback about the fact that you understand them. A pro tip here that she sometimes uses as well is she repeats back what the other person has said, and that also really builds rapport here because the other person will feel that you are actually paying attention to what they're saying and did not just ask the question, so how's your day? Because that seems to be the most polite thing to do. This also has an added benefit of keeping the conversation flowing without having to keep coming up with new topics all the time. And if the other person is not really interested in talking about whatever you ask about, then you will feel it as well, and maybe they will themselves come up with a different topic. Now, moving on to secret number 2. What she does is very clever. She uses stories and descriptive language and not just facts. So when the other person actually asks about her day, what she does is tells them a story, something very descriptive. It will sound much more interesting. So for example, instead of saying, I tried this new cafe yesterday, she would say, I tried this amazing new cafe yesterday that just opened last week actually. And I went there and the flavor of the coffee there was just out of this world. Like I've never tasted any coffee that tasted so similar to the ones I had in Vietnam before. The reason why this works is actually people really like to visualize things. So if you don't give them anything to paint a picture in their head, it will be very difficult for them to relate. So just the fact that you're trying a new cafe, then that alone is not very interesting. However, if you paint a picture for them to also imagine with you and almost relive the experience with you, that helps the other person so much in being able to relate to your story, your day, and ultimately what people remember later on is not necessarily these facts, but the way you made them feel, the emotions they had, but also what they can connect to you, what kind of emotions or visuals. And so, this is why using stories and storytelling, even in this small context, is so important. So, what you need to practice here is really instead of just giving other people facts throughout your small talk, oh, I went on a vacation last week, I tried out a new restaurant, or yesterday evening I was just at home. Instead of that, paint the picture, give them some emotions, something to grab onto and visualize with you and experience in their head almost together with you. Now, the last secret that she uses is actually quite similar as well. Because people really remember the people that made them feel good, what you want to do is also leave people feeling good after the conversation with you. There are a lot of different ways you can make this happen, but the most common one that she uses is not by being interesting herself, but making the other people feel like they're an interesting person. She might want to coax out these stories from the other person as well, or what she also does is ask them about topics that she feels like they are very much invested in or they have a very high emotional connection to. Similarly, if you just give a compliment, that can also help a lot in these small conversations. It doesn't have to be necessarily something that is very fake or something that you don't feel like is a genuine compliment. So, things that are too general, for example, they sometimes can come off as fake. However, you want to notice something small about them that maybe they put effort into, or something that you notice about them and then compliment them on that specific thing. So, for example, we were actually at the bank and it was just a very gray, normal day. We went in to do some paperwork, and it seemed like the bank lady was also kind of frustrated with other things. Maybe she was very busy. And while she was doing her stuff and, just like typing on the keyboard, I noticed her nails were very well done. So I just casually complimented her, like, oh, your nails look very nice. Did you do them on your own or did you get it done? Because, I don't know how to do nails. I'm actually tried that once, but I felt like I wasn't very good at it. And she just completely lit up. She was so enthusiastic because she shared that she just took a class beforehand, and this was the first set of nails that she's done for herself as well. And she was just beaming. Afterwards, I felt like the whole appointment went a lot smoother, but I can guarantee you that even afterwards, she was so much happier in her day as well. And these are the kind of small interactions and compliments that can really change the course of someone's day and remember you. You can also practice this even in situations where it really doesn't matter. For example, here, it really didn't matter if I complimented her or not. However, it made me feel good, it made her feel good. And again, this is the power of small talk. Aside from compliments, what you can also try doing is ending the conversation on a very positive note. So even small things like, it was amazing to talk to you, I'm really looking forward to the next time we see each other, that again can really help build that connection with the other person. Even though they're not a friend, they're just someone you see maybe once or twice a week, or even if it's someone you only see once a month in the grocery store. These things are the small things that will make people remember you, but also you never know what kind of doors this can open, the fact that they just remember you a bit more. So, having said all of this, what do you think about small talk? Is it something that you dread? Is it something that you don't like? Or do you also see the positive sides of it? If you also think that small talk can be really a superpower, don't forget these tips. So, in summary, first of all, focusing on the other person and not on yourself. The second one is telling stories, not just facts. And lastly, to leave the other person feeling good after the conversation you had with them. Don't forget, small talk is really a skill aside from a superpower. You gotta train it, you gotta know how to do it, and then it will flow much more naturally. It will open so many doors. And I promise, if you try some of these tips, small talk suddenly won't feel as awkward anymore. So, if you found this helpful, Don't forget to comment below and let me know what your tips are on small talks and whether you dread it or don't like it, or whether it's a skill that you want to pick up in the future. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos on such communication tips, career tips, expat life, and language learning. And I'll see you in the next video. Happy learning! Bye bye!